with Roland Martin and a young brother named King Randall. And King Randall is out of Albany, Georgia. And this young brother has done some amazing work. It's so extraordinary that I actually shared his information on my Instagram page. And I'm actually going to put my IG up so you can actually see the video with King, where he's talking about some work that he's doing down in Georgia. Actually, there's my Twitter. There's my IG. My IG is the real Boyce Watkins. Give me a yes actually in the chat to make sure you can hear me. I just switched my Wi-Fi on my phone, but I want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. What's up, Chris? All right, so Roland Martin does an interview with his brother. His name is King Randall, and King Randall is a 21-year-old black man who built a school down in Albany, Georgia. And I don't know King yet. I don't know much about the school, but I saw an interview where King Randall was speaking with some white guy. He's doing an interview with a white guy, and he was so impressive. So impressive. I mean, to be 21 years old, the brother is articulate. The brother is focused. The brother is 100% B1. And he's absolutely positively, without a question, somebody that needs to be supported. I literally put the video on my Instagram, which you can see right here if you want to go take a look. And I said, if anybody knows his brother, please connect us because I'm going to write him a check. So Alicia was watching it with me, and we both said, okay, we're going to write this brother a check. Now, why am I bringing this up? Why am I even jumping out here? Well, I saw this interview. I saw where the brother went on Roland Martin's show, and I was really almost embarrassed by the way Roland reacted to this young man. Here you have a 21-year-old young man who is basically all about the black community, 100%. He's all about bringing black males together, helping them get their lives move forward, helping them become independent, helping them become business owners, helping them become successful, helping them to become the kind of husbands and fathers we need in our community. And Roland was just beating up on this kid all day, asking him about that stupid Democratic Party nonsense that he's always preaching on his show. That whole BS crap, that Democratic Party liberal. I'm trying not to cuss y'all. Y'all can tell when I start stuttering. That's when I'm really trying not to cuss. But that all that liberal nonsense that y'all been waiting on for 60 years. All these Democratic Party politicians that they got y'all buck dancing about with a chicken wing in your mouth, looking stupid, looking crazy, got us looking dumb, sitting here waiting on things to happen when your community has not moved forward 1 inch. Give me a yes or no. Give me a yes or no. Black people have been voting for Democrats since Jesus was a teenager. How have you seen the black community move forward as a result of Democratic Party policies? Give me a yes or no. Has the Democratic Party moved the black community forward on hardly any level in terms of quality of life? Give me a yes or no. What do you think? Do you think that voting for the Democrats has been our solution? I'm not telling you to be a Republican. We ain't talking, this ain't Democrat Republican stuff. But this is about reality. This is about benefiting the black community. Yes or no? No, we haven't. We haven't moved forward. Our wealth is stuck in the grinder. Our communities, many of these Democratic-run districts, like Elijah Cummings' district, it was garbage. A lot of the nonsense is coming out. It's more LGBT than anything else. And so I'm gonna tell you this. Roland, I was kind of cool with Roland. We were frenemies up until about 2011, until I guess he went on a bitch fest and got mad at me for something and was sending me these real long text messages, and I just got tired of debating with him. It was like arguing with a woman or something. It was real. I can't argue. I can't. I just I can't argue with a man who argues like a woman. And so we just stopped talking a long time ago, and I didn't really care. I kind of thought, okay, well, maybe his philosophy is just a little bit different. Maybe we can coexist, and that's it. But I really think that I'm at the point where I'm starting to really wonder, Negro, who do you work for? I mean, who do you represent? Remember, if y'all remember when Ice Cube was challenging both the Democrats and Republicans to do more for black folks, Roland brought Ice Cube on and attacked Ice Cube the entire time. And then this young black man, 21 years old, I mean, literally half your age, less than half your age, ain't even old enough to be half your age. And you can't even take a moment to provide some support or some guidance or mentorship. What the hell is wrong with you? See, that's why young people lose respect for certain older people because you're full of shit. I mean, this is ridiculous. You 50 years old, man. You ain't supposed to be out here arguing with this kid. You're supposed to be cheering him on. Maybe you can bring in a point or two to say, hey, why can't we do both? Why don't we do both? But you literally, when in this interview, I mean, you guys gotta go watch it. It was really fascinating. It really was like the nail in the coffin for me because I said, my God, he is fighting with this kid who's doing his best with what he's got to better the black community. That makes it 100% clear who you are and what you represent. You are a Democratic Party operative. That is what you are. You are not a black leader. You are a Negro manager. Negro managers or political bosses are people who exchange political favors in exchange for them collecting and corralling black votes and getting black people to bring their booties to the polls in every election to get certain people into office. And it's all about trying to get that power. For many years, I watched Roland. The first time I met, let me tell y'all a story about the first time I ever met Roland Martin. I never talk about, I don't talk about this much because I don't really want to get into talking about another guy that much. But I got to tell y'all the truth because I'm really defending this poor kid. And when I talk to him, I'm gonna tell him, don't you ever, in my view, my 2 cents, don't waste your time talking to people like this because this is sad. It's pathetic. But when I met Roland the first time, back in 2006. I was on CNN with it was me, him, and Wendy Williams. And I came in with my good friend Dorian Chandler. Dorian is a director out of New York City, and she's my buddy. We've been friends for a really long time. And I remember this guy comes in, and all he does is talk the entire time. All he does is suck the oxygen out of the fucking room like a little diva, trying to get all the attention and talk, talk, talk. He's talking my ear off, and I'm like, will this guy please stop talking? And because I had something I had to talk to Wendy Williams about. And so I literally remember planting Dorian to sit between me and Roland so that she would absorb his conversation and listen to his nonstop talking ass while I could actually go talk to Wendy about something. It was literally like I remember literally thinking, this Negro will not stop talking. And then I remember after the show was over, the CNN producer said, well, it was some little 22-year-old white girl or something. You know, they hire these young white girls that's producers. And she's like, well, hey, guys, we want to do some sort of Black history event. And it's going to be a Black in America special. And we'd like to know what you think we should cover. And so Roland starts talking. He literally talked so long that I didn't get a chance to say a word to this lady. And I remember thinking, you know what? I'm not going to say nothing because this Negro won't stop talking. That was my first introduction to Roland. He's full of himself. He sucks all the air out of the room. He's a big old diva with that big pink ascot that he wears because he likes to get all that attention. He also is a person who desperately seeks approval from white people. He really wants to be back on CNN. He wants to be recognized by the White House. He loves the fact that he's buddies with Kamala Harris. He's trying to get into the institutions. He's trying to become part of all of that, right? And that's fine. That's what it is. That's my 2 cents on the issue. And I'm laying it out here because I cannot sit here and watch a 50-year-old man beating up on a 21-year-old kid. I can't. I've gotten into back and forth with young people before, and there was a time where I knew to stand down. I knew what my role was. My role was to be the elder. My role is to be the OG. My role is not to sit here and scrap with you like I'm 22 years old too. The last time that happened, and it was actually accidental, was 2013. Tyler the Creator and I we crossed hairs because I was having some issues with Lil Wayne making a disparaging remark about Emmett Till in a song, and because Lil Wayne made this song, I challenged Mountain Dew, who was sponsoring his tour, to say, you can't sponsor this kind of music that's not only destroying the community, but it's also degrading Black historical figures. This is unacceptable. Well, Tyler the Creator got caught in the crossfire of that. I didn't even know who Tyler the Creator was. And so Tyler got pissed. He's been mad at me for about 5. He's still mad at me. He still does interviews. In a Kanye West song, he says something like Boyce Watkins is a bitch at the end of it. So he's mad. But the thing was, I never got to the point where I was, just fighting with him like he's 22 years old. Now, so with Tyler the Creator, my position was, okay, we're going to stop all of this. If he wants to talk to me, tell him to call me, and I will explain to him what's going on, that you were collateral damage. There was no intent to take you down. This was between me and white supremacy. This was not having anything to do with you. Now, my point in bringing all that up is because when I saw this interview between Roland and this kid, I said, Roland, this is a 21-year-old man. Like, what are you doing? Like, this, I know who your boss is. I know you tickle Joe Biden's balls in the afternoon so you can get a couple dollars. I know that you are, dying to get an opportunity to get back on TV. I know that you love to brag about the fact that you and Kamala Harris, that Indian lady that just got into the White House, are best buddies. But at the end of the day, if this brother is doing something good for the community, you need to support that. You need to support that. Now, I know some people aren't going to like it. I see one guy says, I'm out. It's too negative for me. Yeah, you should be out. You should not be here if you can't even understand where I'm coming from. Also, if you're asking for the link and you want to see the interview, go and just Google it. His name's King Randall, and he's interviewed by Roland Martin. But if also look up King Randall, because what he's doing is extraordinary. I will tell you guys publicly, I'm stating this publicly, I'm going to write a check to this brother's school, because you hear about people trying to build schools, and schools take 5-6 years, need $85 million. This brother put bunk beds in his house and started bringing young dudes in so he could help them out. And one of the things I think that we really have to, that when I do talk to King, because he actually reached out to me, and we're going to talk, and I'm going to talk to him. And when I talk to him, I am going to offer support. I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I hope that you will too. I'm going to actually support him in reaching out to the community for additional support, because I think when you see young soldiers that are stepping up to the plate like this and really doing their absolute best to help an important cause like this, and doing it in an authentically Black way, and supporting the community on the highest levels without asking for white mama and white daddy to take care of us, we need to show up for him. We need to show up and show out for those who are showing up for us. So just know, at some point in the very near future, I'm going to reach out to you and I'm going to say, hey, here's a link. Here's where you can donate. Support this brother and what he's doing. Make sure his school gets all the funding that it needs, because that's the solution for the community. This idea that somehow voting for the same stupid Democrats who ignore us in every election is going to somehow make our community better when it never has in the past is absolutely insane. That is literally insanity. But the thing is, there are people that are paid to keep you still. There are people that are paid to keep you backward. There are people that are paid to keep you from moving forward. There are people that are paid to keep you on the white man's nipple. So what I just want to say to you is is you got to see it for what it is. I normally don't talk about Roland directly in this type of way. Every now and then it pops up or whatever. But I really think that there's a point where the spade has to be called a spade, and I think that we're getting to this point where, when you are deliberately allowing white Democrats to position you as the Negro to attack any Black person who has an authentic, liberating concept that he's introducing to the community, we got to look at you kind of suspect, because he could have left it alone. He could have said, you know what, that's not my philosophy. I'm gonna go sit over here and fight for voting rights so we can keep Joe Biden in power because he's my boss and I got to do what my boss tells me to do. Right? You could have done that, but no, you went out of your way to seek and destroy. When you have Black people that go out of their way to seek and destroy other Black people that are trying to build something independent of the white power structure, you got to look at those Negroes twice. It doesn't, I now what the arrangement is with Roland or whoever, I have no idea. But I'd be willing to bet you that sometime during this presidency, you're gonna see him taking selfies next to somebody in the Biden administration. This is how the business is done. The business is done in such a way that says, look, you keep the Negroes in line, you deliver Black people for us, we will take care of you. We will give you some important position. We will give you access to something. We'll let you come do an interview on Air Force One. We'll let you get interviews for your book deal, right? These deals are the ones that are done. And I really think that we have to kind of watch out for that. So what I'm going to really say at this point, though, is if you want to know what I'm going to say to King, one of the things I want to share with him is, look, there's a point where you got to take the high ground and just keep doing what you're doing. Anybody who's mad at you for helping young Black men It's absolutely insane. And I want to speak on behalf of all the 40 plus people who can see through this bullshit to say, man, don't even try to convince or persuade certain people, because some people are not your allies. Some people look like you, but they're not your friends. And I don't care if they're Democrat and liberal and all this other nonsense. There's nothing about being liberal that is pro-black, and there's nothing about being conservative that is pro or anti-black. All it means is that you're liberal or that you're conservative, Democrat, Republican. None of those concepts are linked to pro-blackness exclusively or anti-blackness exclusively. Sure, there are some good policies in the Democratic Party that benefit black folks, but there are a lot of policies in the Democratic Party that screw over black folks. Democrats ain't thinking about you. They're thinking about themselves, and they're using you to carry their weight so that they can get more power. That's what that's all about. That's why you got Raphael Warnock's ass, who got $250 million to run for office. He didn't get that money from black people. You really think Raphael Warnock got $250 million from the black community and that he's working for black people? No. I saw an interview the other day where Raphael Warnock was speaking. Well, we got to stop this Asian hate. We got to stop this violence against Asians. I'm like, Negro, you ain't Asian. What part of China do you come from? Seriously, I don't get it. What are you talking about? Like, you're a black man, right? Like, at what point are we going to talk about reparations? When are you going to start talking about the issues that black people care about? The answer is never. The answer is never. These people don't work for you. They work for them. Roland Martin, as much as I want to respect him as a journalist and all that, you know what he is? Roland Martin is a Democratic, he's a liberal white woman. That's what he is. He might as well be some liberal white woman on MSNBC. He is the black male Rachel Maddow. If you look at a lot of the conversations he has on his platform, there are the people that come on this platform are black, but they have to be liberal black. If they are not liberal black, then he goes on the attack. So if you're not liberal black, then he goes on the attack. If you are black and liberal, then everything's good. You're his friend. That's what it is, right? So you got to know the difference between a black person who happens to be liberal versus a liberal person who happens to be black. So a lot of the black liberals that you see on TV are basically white liberals in blackface. They are the Negro wing of the Democratic Party. And so when you really talk about what freedom and liberation is supposed to look like, freedom means that you're not the Negro wing of the Democratic Party or the Negro wing of the Republican Party. You are just simply black. So that's what I believe in. That's what I support. I support things that are authentically black, things that are getting results. If you tell me, when the reason I'm going to tell you this, the reason that the Democrats are so concerned about voting rights is not because they love black people. It's because they love black people who put them in power. They want you to have voting rights so you can keep them in power, so they can continue to do whatever they want to do. They can let these butchy ass men who get a gender change go and compete with your daughter in a sport. Seriously, I mean, it's a bunch of nonsense. So please walk away from the nonsense. Here are the fundamentals. Black people need wealth. We need more investors. We need more wealth builders. We need to own assets. We need to build businesses. Black people need education. We must educate our own. That means you snatch them damn kids up and you teach them what they need to know. Ain't no white man ever gonna teach your black son how to be a black man. Ain't no white woman gonna be able to teach your daughter how to be a black woman. Seriously, it just don't work that way. It don't work. What else? Black people need families. That means black men need to find a black woman to love and to support, and black children to protect. Black women need to find black men that they can love. Stop fantasizing about Meghan Markle and marrying some British, some redheaded slave master from across the sea and acting like that's a fairy tale. The reason the reason these things come off as fairy tales, and the reason that you have these integrationist folks sort of doing what they do, is honestly because they're not very strong people. They are fundamentally weak. They are fundamentally frightened. They fundamentally do not know who the hell they are. So their only belief in having power, their only access to power in their mind is they don't believe they can generate their own power. They believe they must be integrated into the white man's power in order for them to have any sort of strength or self-respect. Like they literally feel like I am better when a white man gives me a Grammy or an Oscar or some sort of Employee of the Year award. I am better when I go to the big white university, Brown, Harvard, Yale, Stanford, and get some white person to give me some credentials. I am better when white people acknowledge me and tell me that my Black life matters. I am better when white people all show up and vote for me and put me into office. I am better when white people snatch me up and put my Black ass on their TV set. And even though I'm on TV acting like a goddamn fool, seriously, that is the ideology that they have. These individuals who think this way are people who are fundamentally insecure about being who they are. They don't understand this basic fundamental idea that I'm going to give you right now, that you were somebody special before the white man ever acknowledged you. You are special, whether even if the Democratic Party hates your guts. You are still worthy, even if these white corporations will not hire you. You are still somebody, even if you didn't go and go $200,000 in debt trying to go to Syracuse University or some other campus somewhere. You are somebody, even if they don't give you an award. If they take that award away, that means that I'm going to give you an award in its place, because the fact that they're mad at you enough to take that award away means that you might be one of the heroes that we actually need in the community. Stop cheering for the people who are being cheered for by white supremacy. Stop validating people who are being validated by the racists of this country. Stop believing in people just because you saw that Negro on TV and he got a record deal or he's in your favorite movie. Most of these people cannot fight white supremacy because they represent it. These people are never going to be able to fight the system because they are products of the system. How can you fight the thing that produces you, that gives you your source of power? I can't take power away from the thing that gives me my power. The people that have power in the community to move the community forward are the people who can rise above stupid things like cancel culture. Cancel culture, all that means is, Negro, we're going to find out who you work for and we're going to take your job. That's what cancel culture is. It means if you are a Hollywood actor and you're in a bunch of white people's movies and you say the wrong thing, they're going to go to your boss, your daddy, and take your job away. That's what cancel culture is. And Ice Cube said in his last song, he said, fuck your cancel culture. You can't cancel a soldier. And I'm going to tell you right now, I have canceled cancel culture because the only thing that can cancel me is God. Okay, you can't cancel me. Y'all been trying to cancel me for years. You ain't canceling shit because I know how to obtain real and authentic and independent Black power. So the reason I love what King Randall is doing with this school is because he's teaching these boys to be independently powerful. He's teaching them how to own their own businesses. He's teaching them how to grow their own food. He's teaching them how to go out and hunt and get what they need and change tires and love a Black woman and be a good father and educate themselves and critically think and do mathematics and invest for themselves. I mean, he's building a better Black man. Like, do you understand how important this is? Like, this is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. So, so I'm going to just say this. You know, I tell you, when that Black Superman walks in the building, like this 21-year-old super articulate kid who comes in and is literally saying stuff that half y'all 45, 50-year-olds can't even understand. He represents the future. Roland Martin, you represent the past. He is bringing life. You are feeding death. He is the young, energetic lion who will eventually knock you off your perch and you're going to go down bloody and burning and screaming and hollering and yelling like a little baby, just like Donald Trump. You are the Black Donald Trump of the community because you don't represent the greatness that Black people will aspire to in the 21st century and beyond. So I am proud of this kid. When I saw that kid, I jumped up and down because I said, oh my God, he is 21 years old. We are building a generation of super soldiers who cannot be stopped, cannot be canceled, cannot be butt broken, cannot be turned into little bitches. That's exactly what you want, because remember, when Malcolm X was alive, he told you that the number one job of white supremacy is to keep the black man as a little boy or to turn him into a little girl. Well, that's what you got over there on the Roland Martin side. You got a bunch of little boys and a bunch of little girls, and this guy is creating men. And he ain't even, he's 21 years old, so he's got a lot in front of him. And I just congratulate this brother, and I am cheering for him 100%, because that shows that those of us who have passed messages like this on have done our job. And people like Dr. Claude Anderson were the ones who bred me. The real men are the ones who will lead you out of this darkness. The real women are the ones who will get you to the promised land. These Negroes still waiting on white Jesus, still waiting on white Zaddy, still hoping that they can integrate their way to power. These people do not represent what will ultimately become the solution. I am all about solutions. I am not about acceptance. I do not care if these people like me or not. All I care is that we are ready to fight. So raise your sons to be ready to fight. Look this brother up. His name is King Randall. He's doing it down in Albany. There's other guys out there like him, Rizza Islam, a lot of young guys just doing great stuff. Those are the men that we need to pay attention to. And I'm done talking about Roland Martin. That's not an issue for me anymore. I'm out of here. Hit the thumbs up button. Please hit the thumbs up button. Please, please, please subscribe to the channel, so we can keep building our black media. And I'm sorry for being so emotional, but that just burns me up. Like, there's no reason on this earth that any of us should be trying to stop a young black man who's trying to do what this guy's doing. And I just hope I beg you, let's not make this political. Let's make this black, 100% all black. That's it. Be one. I'm out. Have a good day.